Oban captures visitors' hearts at first sight as they approach from atop the King's Highway. Nestled between mountains and the sea, Ant Oban, which means little bay in Gaelic, impressed even Queen Victoria, who called it one of the finest spots we've ever seen. Oban is the gateway to the Isles, and it's just a ferry ride away to enchanting islands such as Lismore, Mull, Iona, Colantyree and Barra. Oban is a paradise for history buffs. The area boasts ruins of many castles, and in its sparkling waters lie some of the most remarkable shipwrecks in the British Isles. World-class food, stunning scenery, fascinating history, and a wide choice of cultural and outdoor activities. It's no wonder Oban is one of Scotland's most popular holiday destinations. Join us as we make our pilgrimage to the sacred isle, Iona.
Also open. This area is now serving Thurso brew coffees, assorted tea. Explore the beautiful island of Mull and Iona on this popular day tour, which will immerse you in the area's rich history and harmonious surroundings. After a short 45-minute crossing from Oban to Mull, you'll be transferred by coach for the scenic drive and guided tour across Mull, passing through Glenmore and the south shore of Loch Scriden to reach Fian Point. From here, it's a short ferry crossing to Iona, one of Scotland's most sacred and historic sites, as well as a place of tranquility and beauty. You'll have around 2 hours to explore Iona and visit the famous abbey and nunnery, the burial place of Viking and Scottish kings over the ages, including Macbeth, before it's time for your return journey back to Oban.
Splendorimus sanctorum, et Sutherland luciferum Signius animum erat, sede adexis mei, non equam amicos tuos, scaderum verum tuum. Dominus vixit ane, Divis melus est tu, salvos magnos Domine Deus nostre, et congregados de nationibus, ut confideramur nomini sancto tuo, et gloriemur in nome tuo. O Domine Pater noster, et Redemptor noster, a saeculum lodem Laudem Domini doque turbos mare, et benedicator ixerum nomen sanctum.
The first thing one notices is the monastery, built around 1200, but the spot has been sacred since 563, when St. Columba and 13 followers landed at the bay to establish a monastery. Many kings of Scotland, Ireland, and the Vikings are buried at the abbey. Perhaps the most famous illustrated manuscript of the Dark Ages, the Book of Kells, was created at Iona, which was a celebrated centre of learning throughout the Middle Ages. It was at this time that the Vikings first landed on Iona, looting the abbey and slaying the helpless monks. St. Cuthbert's remains and other treasures were secreted away to Dunkeld for safety. and the surviving monks relocated to safer sites. But after the Vikings converted to Christianity in the 10th century and began marrying into the local Gaelic population, the monastery underwent a revival, and the surviving Benedictine abbey was built around 1203. Ullapool, where the mountains meet the ocean. The picturesque village of Ullapool nestles on the shores of Loch Broom and offers many attractions for those passing through or looking for a base to explore the Highlands. The name Ullapool is derived from Norse and is a reminder of the Viking heritage of the region. The village itself is a relative newcomer, commissioned by the British Fisheries Society and designed in 1788 by the engineer Thomas Telford. The grid pattern of the lower part of the village is the original design, and many of the buildings are from that time. Fishing played an important role for many years, and even today the harbour is a local focal point for village life, where boats from all over the world can be seen landing catches from the Atlantic and local boats landing prawns and scallops at the end of the day. These days, the harbour also welcomes tall ships, cruise boats, Coast Guard vessels and numerous other vessels can be viewed as you stroll around the harbour. During the summer months, the local youth pipe band and the island dancers parade through the streets to the ferry car park and put on a show for visitors, generally on a Thursday evening in the summer. Broomfield Holiday Park is situated on the seafront at the west end of Ullapool. It extends to some 12 acres of level grass overlooking the Summer Isles, famed for its marvellous sunsets. Supermarkets, bars, restaurants, cafes, bus stop, post office and telephone are all within 5 minutes walk from the park entrance. The ferry to Lewis, the Loch Seaforth, a new vessel launched early in 2015, also sails from Ullapool. It is possible to travel as a foot passenger or take your car. And in the summer months, the ferry sails 3 times on certain days, allowing the opportunity to leave in the morning, take a tour of Lewis in the Hebrides, and return in the evening. The loch and seas around Ullapool and the Summer Isles have been designated a marine protection area. This means that fishing and other activities are controlled in certain areas, to help conserve and protect some of the features and species found in the loch and the waters, some of which are unique to this part of the world and even to the loch itself. Just outside the park entrance is the Larch public house and restaurant, and it's well worth a visit. The area north of Ullapool was designated a geopark in 2004 in recognition of the importance of the geology of the region. Heading north of the village about 13 miles, there is a visitors centre called Connag Crag, where you can find out about how the mountains and the region were formed, and the importance of the geology. The road north from Ullapool brings you into the heart of an ancient landscape, recognised internationally as the Northwest Highlands UNESCO Global Geopark. The area encompasses mountains, peatland, beach, forest and coastline, from the Summer Isles to the north coast beyond Derness and Loch Erbol, to the thriving community of Tongue. The Northwest Highlands Geopark offers one of the best opportunities to explore the wild places in Europe. Whether you want to scale mountains for a spectacular view, stroll along a clean and sandy beach, or discover the hidden secrets of the landscape on a self-guided driving trail, follow the rock route through the landscape. The trail stops at specific sites of interest. The Highlands of Scotland are remote. Within it, the country which typifies this remoteness the most is Sutherland. It has the lowest population density in Western Europe, and the only one with 3 coastlines, north, east and west. Not surprisingly, the coastal landscape is stunning, with towering cliffs and golden beaches, backed by rugged mountains and barren moorland, of peat and rock, broken up by woodland straths and lochs, both large and small. It was the southern land to the Vikings, but the empty glens of today bear witness to the great clearances of the early 19th century, when people were forcibly removed from their homes to make way for sheep farming. In the most far-flung corner of this vast outback is Derness, lying 16 kilometres or 10 miles east of Cape Wrath on the north coast. It is the most northwesterly inhabited area of Britain, and home to some 320 people, a collection of scattered townships and farms. It has a diverse economy, but the mainstay is tourism, fishing, farming, sheep farming and crofting. The pace of life is slower and more traditional, and many pressures of modern-day living are not to be found here. There is an abundance of magnificent scenery and wildlife, and while the ideal holiday destination in itself, Derness makes a good point for touring the rest of northwest Sutherland, given its position on the road network. It is the corner of the road system from where you can only go south or east. The most northwesterly village on the mainland of Britain, Derness. We based ourselves at the lovely Sango Sands, so we could visit the Derness Highland Games.
John Lennon enjoyed childhood holidays in Derness, relax on the golden sands, and go shopping at Blandnakeil Croft Village, which includes a fabulous chocolaterie. Highland Games have a long and storied history in Scotland. They began as a way for kings and clan chiefs to select their entourage. The fastest runners were chosen to deliver messages and rally the clans, while the strongest men became personal bodyguards. The hammer throw and the shot put started as Highland sports and are now part and parcel of the international sporting circuit. But for audience experience, visitors won't want to miss true Highland Games. Dancing, piping, track and field and races are exciting to watch and hear. Participants can even join in, as many games feature foot races and other events for audience participation.
Organising and setting up this year's Highland Games. From the committee to the volunteers who set up and tidy up the grounds.
At the top corner of the field, at the top of the running track, that ladies 16 years and over for the 100 yards to the top of the running track.
In third place, and in fourth place, Holly Mackenzie. Third question, Holly Mackay. That's all competitors for Holy. Please make your way to the running clock now.